Welcome back to Talk Solent, the chat show where we share our local views of the stories catching our eye. Joining me today are Sarah Ali Chowdhury and Mike Stratton. Thanks very much for being with us. Now, the Southern Rail saga has been going on for about a year now, and still there are potential strikes in the pipeline. As we know, it's all over the role of onboard conductors, which the rail operator wants to replace with so-called onboard supervisors. And these supervisors wouldn't be responsible for the opening and closing of the doors. So I was going to ask you if either of you had been affected by any of the strike action at all over the last year.
No.
No?
No.
No, you're lucky. You don't really take trains, though, do you, Mike?
No, I drive.
You drive everywhere. Yeah. And did you make that decision because you know that the trains are not great, or...?
No, I made that decision because I can.
OK, because you can.
Yeah. I have used trains. I've heard a lot about this DOO stuff on the radio. And I kind of think any excuse to cut costs and make more profit.
OK, so you think it's the rail operators cutting costs and making profit.
Yeah.
Do you think, so you would say that the unions and the members of staff that are going on strike have a case then?
Oh, I'd say they've got a case. I don't necessarily agree with the strike because it causes absolute disruption, chaos to people who have to commute to work and back. But I do understand why they've got their, why their backs are up. It's like anything. It's like any very, very large organisation or business. Let's cut costs. Let's see where we can save money today. Don't care who we upset. And that's my view.
Did you agree with that?
I think that cutting down the people that you have on the train is a potential danger with the amount of people that you've got on the train, and you've got one driver that's going to be dealing with everything. And I think that potentially they could be incurring more costs in damage than what they're, by trying to actually make more profits. I think that they could be incurring more damage costs if
they haven't got someone on board. I mean, they're not saying that they won't have someone on board. It's just that they'll have a different type of job and their role will be called something different. So they're not necessarily saying no trains will have anybody on board. They're saying that instead of the conductors, we'll have supervisors, and they won't be in charge of opening and closing the door specifically. I'm sure they'll have a host of other duties that they will be in charge of, and I'm sure there'll be some crossover with the guards, but not entirely.
Well, if they're just in charge of the doors, and they're not in charge of the doors, and if they are still there, then I still think that I'm not really sure what the purpose is, of changing the role. I mean, why wouldn't it just all be integrated together so that they still do the same job that they were doing anyway? Just to ensure that everybody's in safely and that sort of thing. There are some people there who have, wheelchairs, children, suitcases, whatever, and it's sometimes, most of the time, a lot of people travelling alone. It's just not easy to do it, So I suppose it depends on the circumstances, but if it's just a different title, it makes no difference, I suppose. But if it is, a different title, but actually a different job role as well, I think it could cause some issues.
See, I thought it was a whistle, and then
somebody that stood there.
Yeah, because I remember using trains normally when my car's broken down, where you have to press a button to open the doors when you want to get off. So that somebody has to operate that safety feature of that particular train, because sometimes you'll press the button and the doors won't open. You have to wait for the train to be. Well, the train's dead still anyway, but there's a time delay, isn't there? And I actually thought the driver operated that anyway. But I think
it depends on the train operator, and some do have drivers that operate that feature on the doors, and then others don't, I believe. But my experience from using the trains down here is that there is, in one of the carriages, there's a person that stands there, and then when the train comes to a halt, they have this sort of key that turns in a lock, and then they press the button, and then once they've done that, then you as the passenger can press the buttons at the door where you are to open them, if that makes sense. So I guess what they're saying is that person who makes that decision would then be the driver, but there would still be people on board the train. I mean, they'd need to have people anyway checking people's tickets and stuff, I assume.
Yeah, that would have massive safety issues, because that could cause a problem. Somebody could get trapped in the door because the driver's not looking what he's doing.
Right, I mean, I think, yes, the point, I don't know, that the operator is making is that they will still have people on board, and that the drivers will have, fully functioning cameras that would allow them to see whether people have finished.
To see how people have
finished getting on and off.
Dash cam.
Great.
Hopefully not. But I think that is an interesting point that, if they got sued because someone did get hurt, then they're potentially spending a lot of money on other things that aren't.
I think there's a lot of staff striking, aren't they, because of this job role or job change, and if I think that just causes even more issues with the whole of the, the whole of the network and all of the train service. It just causes more issues, more delays, people getting late for work. And
do you think we have a kind of image problem with the rail in this country, or do you think that actually our expectations are in line with how the reality of using the rail is? Do you know what I mean?
I think it's public transport, so you take that risk, don't you? If you're going on public, you almost. If I think that something's really, really important, and I really need to be there on time, I will probably choose to take my own car, through the traffic, through the roadworks, just because sometimes you just can't tell, can you? You might be stuck somewhere, and they'll say, "Oh, you've got another hour. Wait here," and then you've got to change train, or this isn't going anymore, or
Yeah.
And so I think just if it was something really important to me, I would just. I'll
just
just
and get in the car. Okay, interesting. Interesting. You get the car anyway. Okay.
Yeah, I avoid unless I have to actually literally take public transport. I won't.
Okay. All right, moving on, and we've got this fantastic story which is about women being in charge of building projects. And new surveys reveal that women are actually twice as likely to take charge of building projects, and that's according to the Federation of Master Builders. They've released this finding in time for Mother's Day, just in case there was anyone thinking of a fun project out there for their mum. Women are twice as likely to have the final say on both the style and the scope of a building project, apparently. So, Sarah, have you ever been in charge of a building project, no matter how small?
I have been in charge of some projects, and I generally always think that if there's anything to be done in our house, although my husband will have to do it, it would normally be me telling him how to do it.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure he could do it on his own. I know exactly what he's doing, but I always feel like, no. This is the way it needs to be done.
Yeah, I need to micromanage this.
I need to be, the leader here.
Okay. And what do you think? Have you done building projects? You must have, Mike.
Well, I have, but I'm not a woman.
Well, I know. You're still allowed to ask you.
No, I was reading that earlier, and I was absolutely tickled pink with that, because I had this real vivid picture in my mind of, "I'm going to fix that tap, love." "Yeah, I'll do it tonight." "You're going to fix that tap, love?" "Yeah, I'll do it tomorrow." "You're going to fix that tap, love?" "Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll do it tonight." "You're going to fix that tap, love?" "I'll do it tomorrow. Don't worry, I've done it myself."
Yeah.
I can just see that.
Has that happened to you, Mike?
Yeah.
Actually, no. To be honest with you, no. When I was in my marital days, I did used to do all the repairs around the home if they needed doing.
Okay.
But it's.
You are an engineer, aren't you, sir?
Well, when I had my maintenance business quite a few years ago, it's like a plumber will always have a drippy tap. An electrician will always have a faulty socket.
Because you spend all day doing it.
Because I spent all day doing it. Yeah, absolutely.
No, that's fine. Get it all out.
But no, I think that's really good, and I do see the odd female in overalls on my travels, and I think it's amazing because there's too much too many women there's too much stereotyping to it, and I think that everybody should be able to do the same job, be it man, woman.
I very much appreciate that sentiment. So we're going to do a little quiz.
I didn't read that.
Well, you're not meant to read it. There's no right or wrong answers. You just have to tell the truth.
Okay.
So have you painted a room? I'll answer them as well. Have you painted a room?
Yes.
You've painted a room. Mike, have you painted a room?
Yeah.
Okay, me too. Have you put together flat pack furniture?
Yes.
Everyone's favourite job?
Yeah.
Yeah, same here. Have you unblocked a sink?
No.
Have you? You have? Yeah, I have not unblocked a sink.
No.
I think I've probably blocked one.
I might have blocked more than one.
Have you changed a fuse?
Yes.
Yes.
I once very much annoyed.
you
Do you want to
didn't.
hear a little
Don't lie.
story? I once used to get very annoyed when I was younger by people hoovering in the morning because this interfered with my sleeping, and I once took the fuse out of the hoover so it wouldn't work in the morning. There was panic about whether the fuse. Okay.
Is that the only time you changed a fuse?
I didn't change it, I just took it out. There was no fixing happening.
No fixing.
Have you unblocked a toilet?
Breaking it, in fact.
Yes, it's the opposite. Yes. Have you unblocked a toilet?
No.
No.
Unfortunately, many a time.
Okay, right. No, I've not done that either. And have you cleared the guttering?
What? What's my husband there for?
Okay, yeah.
No way.
Yes, many a time.
Okay, no, I've not done that either. I don't think I have any guttering to clear. But
I'm like, what is
I've
that?
swept up,
What does that
lots of
mean?
leaves. I think when you've got like gutters around your house, they get leaves stuck in them.
Now I've come to
Is that
the
right?
conclusion Now I've come to the conclusion that, okay, so smelly jobs are for the man.
Yeah, absolutely. Why are you so
yeah.
confused?
It's all about optimum delegation, Mike. No?
No. Yeah, so now, right now I've got it here going.
Yeah.
The toilet's blocked.
And have any of your building projects ever gone like a bit wrong?
No.
Oh,
not
don't
really.
be perfect.
No, they're damn amazing. No, I haven't done any really big projects like
Okay.
that I can say have gone wrong. And as soon as you know it starts getting quite technical, you just like get somebody on board who can
Who knows
help
what they're
you,
doing.
and then you just advise them.
And that's one of the points they made, is they interviewed someone who says, if I don't know how to do it, I'll watch a how-to video and that will help guide me through the process.
Yeah.
Have you ever used one of those to help you do
Never
something?
used one, but there's a lot of them going
There's
around.
a lot of them, aren't there?
They
Yeah.
are handy.
Yeah.
They are really, really handy. It's going to put a lot of tradespeople out of business, but they are handy.
Have you ever used a how-to
Yeah.
video? Because they have them in cooking. It's not that you'll need that,
No,
but they do have them for
you do-
cooking.
I mean, you do learn so much from the internet now, don't you? Everything's accessible.
Ah. I once laid carpets after watching a how-to video from a well-known carpet retailer.
Did you?
Yeah.
I think
I paid someone, let them do it.
I think it's
Yeah.
amazing though, I really do.
I mean, yeah, I didn't know I
That's
could lay
hard
carpets,
work.
but there we go. Anyway, that's the end. That's all we've got time for part 2. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes talking about, what were we talking about? Children having exercise and whether they get enough exercise. But do get in touch if you've got stories that we should be talking about, or let us know your thoughts. talk@thatsolent.com is the email address, or hashtag #TalkSolent on Twitter.